Hey, Facebook, Sam McEwen here, coming to you live from sunny, beautiful Tampa, Florida today. Wish you could be here with me. We'd go to the beach. I have a mastermind group starting in about an hour, I think, hour and a half. Yeah, about an hour. And if you want to join that, just go ahead and private message me, Growth, and I'll get you that link real quick. But today I want to talk to you about four realities about your dreams and your team. And you say, well, I don't have a team. Then you don't have a dream. Pretty simple. You got a wish. Okay? So, some people have a dream, thought number one, but no team. Their dream is impossible. And I'm going to catch a lot of flack on this. I don't care. It's the truth. Okay? You have a dream, but no team. That dream is impossible. Some people have a dream and a bad team. That dream, my friends, is a nightmare. Okay? Listen again. Some people have a dream, but a bad team. That dream is a nightmare. Some people have a dream and are building a team. Their dream has potential. Their dream has potential. Some people have a dream and a great team. Their dream is inevitable. Pure and simple. I want to repeat those. A dream and no team, impossible. A dream and a bad team, a nightmare. A dream and building a team, that has potential. A dream and a great team, that dream is inevitable. We cannot go it alone. We were never meant to go it alone. You know, my favorite book is the Bible. Y'all that know me for 2 seconds know that. Here's the thing. Adam was never meant to go it alone. Read the book. Read the book. We were never meant to go it alone. If we were meant to go it alone, why did Jesus have 12 apostles? Why did he send out 70? Why were all these people around him on his team? We were never, ever meant to go it alone. You have to have a team. I had to watch. I'll start preaching here, Annette. I already created some hate and discontent here with the statements that I made. But here's the thing. You have to bring people onto your team that will support you. Do you have to have people who will challenge you? Yes. If you don't have people on your team that will challenge you in a positive way to get you moving to the next portion of that dream, then you will stay stuck where you're at. You will always be doing the same thing over and over again. You're going to do the same things. You're going to repeat the same mistakes, and you're going to end up blaming other people for it, and you're going to have 14 million reasons why your dream didn't happen at the last place you were at. You're going to have 14 million reasons as to why that dream is not going to succeed now. And if you're doing it alone, you're doing it wrong. Unless you're some Tibetan monk sitting up high in the mountain somewhere and your dream is to, transcribe the dictionary, then, any dream worthwhile, worth its weight in salt it requires a team. I mean, we cannot do it alone. It's a huge step in your development when you realize that other people can help you do a better job than you can do alone. So Andrew Carnegie said that. I kind of paraphrased it. But, sometimes your team is really small. Sometimes your team is really big. Sometimes you need to weed your team, okay? You need to weed the garden sometimes, okay? But you have to have a team. You cannot go it alone. You just spin your wheels. I mean, Rita and I started this journey here when we were called to move to Tampa. And there's some things that we still don't know. We still don't know. Right now, we're between open doors and kind of in a hallway. We understand that, okay? We know that God has something out there for us, but right now, that door or window has not opened. And so we're to walk down the hallway. We're to continue on the path that we're on. We're to keep doing the things that we're doing, and the door will open or the window will open in His time. So right now, we have some folks who come alongside of us in various ways. Some folks from the chamber, some folks in Wyoming, and some folks up north. But right now, Rita and I we're doing this together. Okay, she has her talents. She does things that I absolutely cannot do. Okay, I'm terrible at it. Okay. And be honest with you, I seriously doubt she'd ever stand in front of a camera and do a Facebook Live. But yet, those of you who know her know that when she gets to preaching and teaching, that the Holy Spirit moves on her, and she will she'll rock it. She'll rock the house. Here's some things that you need to understand about your team. Your team will always make you better than you are yourself. Your team will always multiply your value to others. Your team will enable you to be your best. I enable people around me to be their best. You have a team working together towards the dream, gives you more time, provides you with companionship, helps to fulfill the desires of your heart. A team compounds vision and effort, and a team will empower you to accomplish the dream. I don't know what to tell you when it comes to bringing a team alongside of you. There are times you're going to have to, like I said, weed. There are times you're going to have to weed people out of the dream. I am not a proponent of totally eliminating haters or negative influence, or what's the word I'm looking for? The negative energy, the people who hold you back, because unless you have evaluated yourself to know that you're not the problem, then you may not be getting rid of negative energy. You may just be losing a friend. Okay, so yeah, don't weed people out of your life unless you've totally searched your heart and made sure that your heart is right in the situation. So when it comes to your dreams, we've talked a lot about them. I think I have 3 or 4 more lessons on dreams. But you need to think about the people that you need in your life to come alongside of you. So say, for example, you want to write a Bible study course. You want to do a year through the Bible like nobody else has done. There's a lot of them out there, and pretty much they all follow the same path, okay? They skip over the hard parts, you're not going to find a whole lot of Bible studies out there on the Bible that cover much of Leviticus, because most people don't understand what Leviticus is all about. But in a short-term thing, Leviticus describes all the things and the sin and everything, and how what they had to do to overcome it for the ancient nation of Israel. So there's value in the book. Okay, so try to go that alone. You can't, because you're not going to have insight in each and every book. And you may not be a good writer. You may be a good speaker. You may be able to say, well, I think, when Jesus came to be baptized by John, this is what I saw in those verses. This is what I saw about the Holy Spirit descending. This is what I saw. This is what I saw. But you don't know how to put that down on paper. So find somebody that knows how to write. Okay, there are a lot of writers out there that can't speak it. Okay, and there are a lot of speakers out there that can't write it. And so, bring somebody alongside of you who is going to compliment you. I'm old enough to remember John Wooden and UCLA Bruins and their dynasty and all the wins that they had, and how college basketball loved to hate them. Okay, but here's the thing about John Wooden. If you go back to any of his interviews, he never calls it my team. Never calls it my team. Because that's putting the I back in team. And that's a whole cliche. There's no I in team, but there is an M-E, so that's me. And so, yeah, I'm okay, right? No. Somebody asked him at one time, how did you win that game, coach? And he responded, I didn't win the game. The players did. Our team outscored the opponent. Pure and simple, that's how you win the game. your team outscores the opponent. John Wooden never took credit for the team's victories, okay? He was the head coach. His quote, here's a quote, "I was the head coach, part of a team whose members enjoyed joint ownership." So you'll get involved in some organizations out there and some teams out there. I do a lot of network marketing, and I'm involved in an organization, and I can tell from the top down that most of them are not really interested in me, except for how I can benefit them. Okay, the folks who are on my team understand this type of training. They understand that I have a group that I go into and I train, and I make it so that they don't have to do the hard work. I do the heavy lifting. If they get somebody below them, then they can turn around and point them to the training and say, "Go watch Sam's video on this." And so yes, it's good for me when my people succeed, but they have to have the dream too, okay? And then I have to add value to them, and if together we do it. Okay, but you get into most marketing groups, and the guys at the top, they don't care. You know, they got hundreds of thousands of people under them, and all they're concerned about is you go sell, get people in your group, And they're not concerned about guys like me. They're not concerned about, guys who are schlepping along, just doing what they do every day and generating an income, unless it benefits them. Okay, so put the people on. Here's the thing: make a list. Make a list of the people who are on your team. Then decide whether they benefit you or not. Then make a list, and here's what most people don't do. Make a list of people you would like on your team. Maybe it's a local pastor. Maybe it's a local business person. Maybe it's somebody that you admire for what they do or who they are or where they're positioned. And reach out. What does it hurt to ask somebody to be a part of your team, to be a mentor? And now you have to be careful with that. People reach out to me for mentorship and coaching. I charge for that. That's how I make a living. Okay, I do these, and I do some other free Facebook Lives and stuff like that. But for the most part, I make a living mentoring and teaching people business principles and leadership principles and financial principles. And so, I get a ton of people who will come off of this and ask me for some free financial advice as far as budgeting and things like that are concerned. And I only go so far because that's how I make a living, okay? But you need people like that on your team. You need people to say, hey, Sam, would you take a quick look at this? I wrote this study guide on the book of Job, or I wrote this study guide on how to identify different types of birds, or I wrote this, I wrote that, I did, or I have this video coming out. Would you take a look at it and give me your feedback? Here's the thing. Don't criticize the critic. If you've asked somebody to be a part of your team and to critique what you're doing, don't become a hater of the critic. Listen to what they have to say, and they either added value or they didn't. And if they didn't, then you go back to them and say, hey, you thought this about this passage. Where are you coming from with that? What's up with that? Don't go back with a hater's attitude of saying, I put my best work into that and I know that it's right. And yeah. That doesn't do you any good, okay? You've just alienated a person who's trying to help you. Now, if it's constant criticism and you never get any good things, well, then maybe you need to evaluate whether or not that person needs to be part of your team in that capacity. You may have put them in your dream team in a capacity they don't belong in. But there's another capacity you could put them into. So don't just write them off. Don't just write them off, okay? You decided they would add value to you for a reason. So I would encourage you today to take a look at these things. And if you don't have a team, it's darn near impossible for you to achieve that dream if you don't have people come alongside of you, okay? If you're just going to loner it and do it all on your own, and you can't take criticism and you can't take input and things like that, struggle. I feel for you. That's not how we're built. You know, I have a couple of clients who tell me, you know, I am at my best when I'm by myself. No, they're not. I keep telling them that. They do keep coming back to me, so I am kind of on their team. So they're not doing it alone. But you have to see that in the mirror yourself. Okay? So I would encourage you, figure out who's on your team, who can be on your team, how can they help you. And the other thing is, every good team has a coach. Every good team has a coach. And you may not be that coach. You may need an outside influence. And to that end, I am starting a mastermind group here in about 40 minutes. And it is on John Maxwell's book, The 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth. And if you're not planning on growth spiritually, physically, emotionally, and if you don't plan your growth, if you don't do it intentionally, then you're not going to grow. A year from now, you're going to be stuck in the same position. If you're feeling stuck, or you're feeling like you are just stuck, you need to get on this. Zoom call. So if you're interested in going through this, it's free training. It's going to be 6 weeks, an hour a week. That is nothing of your time to give up. Okay, an hour a week to learn how to grow intentionally. 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth by John Maxwell. You can buy the book on Amazon. You can go on my John Maxwell website and buy it. You can buy it a million different ways, Audible, all this kind of stuff. But today, we're going to talk about the law of intentionality. And you got to start somewhere. So I would encourage you, if you're interested, private message me the word growth. I'll send you out the information and we'll get into the 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth. That starts today at noon Eastern. That would be, 10 o'clock for my friends in Wyoming, Mountain Time, 11 o'clock in Central, and good God, I don't know what it is in Pacific, but just Google it, you'll find it. But noon Eastern, if you're interested, private message me the word growth right away so I can get you the Zoom link. This has been Sam McEwen coming to you live from Tampa, Florida. Live intentionally and be blessed today.